Hi guys, I'm Shmee, hello and welcome back to the channel where today is going to be pretty cool. We're starting from here at the Shmuseum, but we're on a journey to Belgium to go meet up with EH0601 at the Hotcave to check out his Solarbeam AMG GT Black Series from the factory. Now we've talked a lot about this and I want to answer some questions today because various of you have sent me the different Solarbeam GT Black Series that have appeared from around the world after you know that I repainted mine, and I want to clarify all of the questions around that while we're heading over to check out his super cool garage and some very special cars that he has within. And we're going to be doing this journey today in the Focus RS Heritage Edition because a little birdie tells me this Shmeemobile has never previously been to a certain long piece of tarmac in the Eiffel Mountains in Germany. So we might be stopping via there as well, but we do have another purpose for this trip, something I'm super excited about. So today, we're hopping in the RS, we're driving down to the Eurotunnel, crossing over to France, into Belgium, to go catch up and visit the Hotcave. I have had the Heritage RS on the continent before. In fact, on a ski trip, it's actually been to Bugatti in Molsheim in France, and it's done about 6,000 miles at this point, but it's fantastic to get it back out on the roads. I always say that cars should be driven, and while it's very collectible, one of only 50, it's always fun to take it out to go on a bit of a journey. So we have the thing completely loaded up. We have a full boot, thankfully a car that's fairly practical considering all of this. So we have all of our stuff back here, including new to the Cheers by Shmee on 50 shop, I'd rather be on a road trip. Very suitable considering what we have in store for us today. So check that out and the other designs in the store. Plus, all my race gear, hands, helmets, suit, the whole lot, all the Sparco gear, because we're heading to a racetrack in Belgium. We're heading to a very famous racetrack in Belgium for something very, very fun. But the GT Black Series topic of discussion is one that I find particularly interesting because since I bought mine in Graphite Grey Magno and resprayed it at Chartwell into Solarbeam, a few other Solarbeam cars have popped up. One that's around Monaco quite often, this one that we're going to see today in Belgium, a couple in other places around the world. And there's more reason to it than you might think if you haven't followed all of my videos. So let's get this started. Let's get this journey underway because I want to get over to the Hotcave to meet up with Emmanuel today to have a look at some of the amazing cars that he has and see his factory Solarbeam GT Black. Fast forward literally an hour and a half and we're now on the road. Unfortunately, we had some problems, but we are now on the fairly heavily congested M25 to make our way around London towards the Eurotunnel. So let me explain what happened. After pulling out of the Shmuseum, I got the TPMS light, the tyre pressure monitoring system, flagged up on the dashboard, and I knew it couldn't be, well I hoped it couldn't be completely flat because we'd done a bit of a visual inspection before departing, but as always with these things you have to take them quite seriously, so pulled over, popped out to have a look, and yeah, nothing seemed too dramatic. But when I popped a tyre pressure gauge onto it, it was all the way down to about 23 psi, and the tyres on this car should be about 42, depending on how fast you're driving. Quick distraction before we get too far with this, as we have a tunnel. I'm going to pop this car into sport mode, because after all, it's actually quite quiet. I got too used to the red RS before, but anyway, so a little bit of a problem when the tyre pressures are down quite that far. Pulled back into the Shmuseum, had a quick look, took the wheel off in fact, and put it in some water so we could try and find some bubbles. Didn't find any bubbles, inflated it back up, and the air hasn't seemed to come out again, but to have gone down that far suggests a problem. It's unlikely to have gone quite so far without there being some kind of issue. So at the moment, it's fingers and toes completely crossed in the hope that we're going to get away with this problem-free, but I am going to have to pull over and have a check at some point, because if there's an issue, it's going to be a very big issue. We might not make it to the GT Black Series today, and obviously that would be immensely frustrating. Nonetheless, we'll take you along for the journey, and hopefully it's all going to end up fine. Jump ahead, and we are in the queue here at the Eurotunnel. We have arrived. We actually had a few stops along the way. The first at a services after around about 30 miles, and the tyre pressures were up because of course it's a warm day and we're driving. Then I stopped again here and they're back to about where they should be. The same on both sides, crucially, so all is well. But we do actually have a large booking, even though we're in the Focus RS, so we will make the most of the wider carriages. Oh, that's kind of fun. Bright yellow Range Rover. all sorts of different cars. Everybody off on their summer holidays. We'll get up towards the front and see exactly which train we're going to be making. It looks quite busy around here. It wasn't too busy at the arrival. We kind of went straight through with the Flexi Plus booking. And then, yes, onwards towards France. So far, I don't have an answer to the tyre pressure problem. I think maybe some dirt in the valve since we last drove it or something like that. It's actually the original tyre on the original wheel. These ones have never been changed because I had a second set for winter tyres and things like that. So they've driven 2,000 or 3,000 miles in total. It's a weird one. It's a very, very, very weird one, but it seems to be fine. So we're good. We'll make our way. And yeah, onwards. Fair play to Eurotunnel, because this has actually been one of the smoothest arrivals through to boarding the train that I've ever had here, despite the fact that it's quite busy. It's not crazy busy. I've seen it massively busier. But yeah, I think we're on the train that I did actually originally book, despite the delays. I had hoped that we'd be a touch earlier, but hey, kind of is what it is. Thankfully, everyone at the other end is all okay. And yeah, we'll get there after the 35-minute crossing to France, and then a couple of hours drive over to Belgium. It is go time. So we actually had the AC on. There we go, straight out onto this side, because we've got the usual half an hour, 40 minutes or so in France, and then we've got about 2 hours to where we're heading onwards today. But yeah, smooth sailing, let's go. We are cruising through Belgium, where the weather is lovely, the roads are fairly empty, it has to be said, and we look in store for a pretty smooth journey, to be honest. But I want to explain a little bit about this, because back at the time I resprayed my GT Black Series, I said it wasn't possible to order one from the factory. Now, you might have seen a video I did on the Shmuseum channel where I explained a little bit more about this, and for me it wasn't possible, but it was possible for others, and I will get to exactly what that's all about when we're there with today's particular car. Solarbeam was always the colour I wanted for the GT Black Series. I didn't go for it on my original AMG GTR because I think it was about an £11,000 option. They did slightly later on actually lower the price of the option, but it was £11,000 versus roughly €8,000 in Germany. So that's completely backwards the other way around. It should have been at the time £8,000 would have been €11,000. Anyway, that's how it was. So I didn't opt for it then. And then when it came to the Pro and the Roadster, I didn't go for Solarbeam because I wanted to save it for the Black Series. That's again why I didn't go for it on the SLS, which was the launch colour for the SLS Black Series. I don't often go for launch colours, if you noticed, across my collection, other than this one because it's the only colour that it's available in. So I didn't go for it then on the SLS because, again, saving it for the GT Black Series. Hence why I was so committed to the colour, I was respraying it whatever happened. This one has not been resprayed. There are actually some differences about the car, so fingers crossed we don't spend too much of the journey in little bits of traffic, because I'd love to get there and explain all about this and see this fantastic machine. Here we are then at the Hotcave, and I cannot wait to show you the view. I'm coming upstairs for a reason. This is truly inspirational for what I would like to do at the Shmuseum. Up here, we're in the chill out lounge area. We've got the racing simulator, the office space, but that's just the start because the view is amazing. Come and have a look at this here at the Hotcave. The full height glass windows looking out over the car collection below and including that Solarbeam Yellow AMG GT Black Series. There are a few cars here that connect to my garage as well. Next to it is the Hurricane STO. We've then got a little line of the Porsches. We've also, as we come past the Porsches, got the Ferraris down here too, even some bikes and some other things around. But this is all about the view and the feeling from up here, just looking out, being in this space, being in this dream man cave setup, but with all of that going on out there, plus the lighting. In fact, even in the garage, up on the far wall, the Hotcave by EH0601. That's actually really cool with the neon lights above the Bentley down there. So I think we should probably head downstairs and go and have a full look around, because this is firstly a dream setup, but secondly, I want to check out that Solarbeam GT Black Series. So let's head through and go and have a look. Come on through then into the cave itself and to check out the cars inside here. This is a cool place. In fact, this is very similar to what I had been originally dreaming of doing before I found the location that I've turned into the Shmuseum. But I know Mini Hot the Mini GP3, but notice all of the plates as well. Mini Hot, Hot Speed, Hot 009, Hot AMG, ST Hot. It continues, but let's come and have a look at this. A factory painted Solarbeam GT Black Series, the iconic Mercedes AMG colour, the colour that they used for the launch of the C63 Black Series, even though it wasn't officially available for the car, and then again for the SLS Black Series, of which around 35%, the 350 cars were painted. I believe in total there have to be at least 10 GT Black Series, perhaps in this colour, but certainly here in Belgium, it's got to be the only one. And there are not a lot of them. 0 in the UK, for example, absolutely 0. 0 in the US, even out of the 374 GT Black Series in the US, not a single one in Solarbeam. But seeing the car like this, as obviously it comes from the factory, you get those gloss black accents, and the big difference is having the gloss black roof rail over here towards the rear deck, towards the boot, where on mine, we made those the Solarbeam as well, just slightly different and a different look overall, so you can spot which is my car. And that's one of the reasons why I did it in that way, to make mine a little bit different, given I'd gone to the extent of changing the color of the car to literally take it all apart. And there's a bit more to this, because effectively in the first round of allocations, wherever in the world you were, there was no opportunity to do it in a bespoke colour, only the standard colours. It was the second wave of cars, which felt like they arrived a little bit sooner due to delays to the first wave because of carbon fibre manufacturing and other components and all the delays around the world, that you could do it in certain regions. So in the UK, for the UK right-hand drive cars, of which I think there are about 60 in total, or that was going to be the theoretical maximum, it was never an option, absolute no-go. All of the UK right-hand drive cars are in the standard colours. So the only way I could have had this magnificent colour on a UK car was to buy it and respray it, hence why I went down that path and did the other changes like that. And also, just here, you might remember, this is the standard look with the red surround on the V8 badge, whereas on mine, I went with doing those in gloss black, just to fit in more with the gloss black that you have around there and some of the other accents on the car as well. So another little small telltale detail that separates them out. Anyway, let's talk about some of the other cars. We've got the AMG GTR there, and the reason for having both of them in the collection I can relate to is that they're actually quite different cars, different engines, the cross-plane crank versus the flat-plane crank, different power deliveries, different experiences when you drive them, and it makes you enjoy the two different characters. Hurricane STO, and look at the spec. This is actually in the colour scheme to match the Cyan FKP 37, the way it was originally presented. So the multiple different colours of satin paint, the satin green, the bronze gold accents that you have for the ad personam livery pack that go around the front, on the wheels, the door painting as well. So you even have that green base with the bronze gold and the satin black all over the top of the same paint, which looks absolutely mega. All of the details, the door mirror, over the roof rails, everywhere around that car as you explore it. And it's a really, really cool design overall. After the STO, before we continue to Porsches and Ferraris, we have the Bentley Continental GT Speed. The Speed, of course, being the top spec W12 of the Conti GT. Looking very, very nice. But let's come this way. Trio of Porsches, trio of fantastic Porsches. 718 came in GT4, manual gearbox, and this livery is inspired from the GT4 Club Sport. So this satin black to yellow style design, the race car livery effectively of the Cayman, of the Cayman race car. 901.1 GT3 RS in the lava orange, the first generation of the previous generation of the 911. 901.2 GT2 RS Visac package giving you the full carbon bonnet and the design and the interior full race trim spec of your twin turboed flat six. I love this. The spec on this Ferrari 488 Pista is stunning. The metallic paint, the white pearlescent paint with the dark navy blue stripes over the top that dip in down through the S-duct at the front, and then down at the front, all of the exposed blue carbon fiber with that small square weave that you have to contrast against it. And all of that complemented and finished off by having the gold wheels over the navy blue calipers. Really, 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 really lovely specification for the Pista. And of course the Pista, 700 plus horsepower of rear driven Ferrari track focused mid-engine V8 supercar. Fabulous, fabulous thing. That, however, is up there at one of the top spots of my dream car, let's say dream modern car list, the Ferrari 812 GTS. This car actually has the Dreamlines painted over the top, which are rather fantastic. But the 812 GTS, the Hot 812, quite literally, has the 6.5 litre, 800 horsepower, naturally aspirated V12. Pure perfection, absolute perfection. And two other lovely cars here, Ferrari 512 and the BMW 840 as well. But it's that combination of all of the plates matching with the cars, which are really special, and the other things that link around them. I'm not an expert when it comes to motorbikes, but two pretty special bikes. The first is the Ducati Panigale V4, the special 916 25th Anniversario bike. And next to it, one I do know a little bit more about, is the Diavel 1260 Lamborghini 63 limited edition in the same colours as that Cyan and also as the STO, so the same satin green with the same rose gold accents and the same satin black finish around it. The kind of collaboration between Lamborghini and Ducati, when they made that and released it a year or two ago, probably both of those are moderately terrifying and very, very, very fast, but amazing to fit in. And I want to show you something about this pista. So come and squeeze in down here and come and have a look towards the back. It carefully does it through the mirrors because the engine bay of this car is moderately incredible. Look at that, the full blue carbon. That is spectacular. The blue carbon with the red details over the top as well. That's really, really nice. Wonderful, wonderful details and touches to cars with things like that. Let me squeeze back through. I mean, just look up top, the view from here up towards the office space up there. That is exactly the kind of thing I would like to go for. Having an upstairs glass view out, look over the cars, the bright lighting up above. This is a really, 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 really cool man cave, the Hotcave. What a place to have come to visit. Amazing. We had to take a look at it like this. Check out the lighting here at the Hotcave, the way it's set up to have the cars properly illuminated. Now that gives me ideas. It's easy to think with lighting that all you do is just have a whole load of lights, but to do it properly gives you that wow factor, and that is seriously, seriously nice. Yeah, this has been quite the visit. A huge thanks to Emmanuel. I'll pop his link down below if you'd like to go and follow the page. Amazing to have seen the Solarbeam GT Black Series. But we best get on the road for what's coming next. It's pretty dark where we are now, but fast forward a while and you join us in a town called Malmedy. Now, for those that know, that means we are around the corner from the famous F1 Grand Prix circuit of Spa-Francorchamps, which I thoroughly enjoy driving every time I'm here. And I'm here for something pretty epic. And when I say pretty epic, that's probably an understatement. Without doubt, the coolest car I have ever driven at Spa, and that's a list that includes my McLaren Senna, and something I am super excited to share because it is going to be out of this world. Now, we've had a fairly uneventful journey, conveniently. It's been very, very empty in Belgium throughout our route from the Eurotunnel all the way here, which is a welcome delight. No rain, no traffic, just now obviously driving in the darkness, but what an awesome stop at the Hotcave this evening. And to be honest, to get the Focus RS back out on the road, this car hasn't done a road trip for probably, I want to say, nearly 3 years, something like that. It's been a fair old while, and after a tank of about 420 kilometers, which is around 260 something miles, it only needed about 39 liters, so 80 euros or so, to fill it up, which when you're used to doing road trips in supercars is actually very, very welcome. Believe me. I'm kind of surprised, considering it's after midnight, how many cars there are actually about here in Malmedy. Normally I stay a little bit closer to the track than where we are, but there is a very, very exciting track day ahead and a very, 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 very exciting car that somehow I'm going to be finding myself driving. For today though, as we're on the last 1 kilometer to our hotel, what an awesome stop at the Hotcave to see a factory Solarbeam GT Black Series. Super cool. I mean, it's a big upcharge actually to even buy it from the factory. So my position is kind of, it is what it is, you know. It would have been lovely if I could have ordered it direct, but I'm not too unhappy because my car looks amazing. And it's just that little bit different from the factory ones, which makes it stand out. And it would be very hard, by the way, to paint that to paint it to be like that, because once you have these cars painted, it's virtually impossible to match the exact colour at a later date. Anyway, I'm waffling on in the dark. Big thanks to Manuel for hosting us earlier today. A big thanks to you guys, as always, for your support and watching the video. And now just take my word for it, stay tuned for something that is going to be beyond cool very soon. Absolutely beyond cool. That's it for now. I'll see you very soon. Cheers!